I know what you're thinking. This topic is old news. Kiss are in their 60s and 70s. They're about to retire any minute now. Who in their right mind would want to force the original lineup back together again? Yeah? Go online right now, pull up any Kiss video. Ace and Peter should be in the band. Ace and Peter should be in the band. I'm not saying Ace and Peter should not be in Kiss. I'm just saying Ace and Peter should not be in Kiss now. In 1973, Kiss was belched forth from hell. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss crafting their image as four individual characters to appeal to different sets of fans. At the peak of this founding lineup success, Peter was fired in 1980. Over the next 2 years, Ace would meander out of the band like a drunk looking for the exit. Well, after a successful unmasked 80s run with Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick, Gene and Paul reapplied the war paint and reunited with Ace and Peter for the 1996 reunion tour. By 2000, Ace and Peter were let go again, with Gene and Paul solidifying another successful lineup into the present with Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. But this time, Tommy was wearing Ace's spaceman makeup and Eric was wearing Peter's cat, which sent some hardcore fans into sweet pain. Those fans would find their voices in an internet developing into a trash-talking haven for broken souls. Not exactly SJWs, not exactly cancel culture. A maniacal contingent arose, whining for the reinstatement of Ace and Peter into the jobs they couldn't hold and didn't want. I called them Ace Loonies and Peter Loonies. Look, I'm not saying Ace and Peter should not be in Kiss. Hell, they molded our childhoods with music, makeup, and mayhem. I'm just saying Ace and Peter should not be in Kiss now. You loonies, you're probably very nice people. We all love the same bands. You hold good jobs, take care of your families, call your mother, help old ladies cross the street. But what is it when you see a familiar painted face on a different musician and he's playing an Epiphone instead of a Gibson that makes you want to murder in high heels? I feel your pain. We're all Kiss fans here. You feel you've been wronged. Like it's not AC/DC without Bond, not Purple without Ritchie, not Heap without Byron, not Millie without Vanilli. But sometimes you've got to wrong a few people to do right by a lot of other people. Let me speak to the musicians amongst the loonies. You musicians know how grueling rock and roll is. You know how rigorous touring is, how brain-frying practicing is, how unforgiving an itinerary is. Do you seriously think that current Ace and current Peter would be able or willing to fulfill their roles in an international touring band? In high heels? I know what you loonies are missing. You're missing this. I'm with you, loonies. You want this back. So I understand your love. Here I am. Here we are. We are one. And as much as we all want to recapture that spark of youth, life has brutally moved on. Not just for you and me, but for Ace and Peter as well. And I am talking to us old, weathered fans, because let's face it, if you're under 20 and trolling about Ace and Peter should be in the band, you gotta leave that conversation to those of us who molested our bedroom walls and ceilings with Kiss posters. Ace is fantastic. He's a fun guy, a creative melodic guitarist, a great rock and roll composer. However, his head is not in the right airspace to be contracted to a band that requires so much more commitment than a tour whenever he feels like it. I saw Ace on his 1993 tour called Just for Fun. One of the best live guitar sounds I'd ever heard, and Ace was cooking with ozone. But the tour name says it all. No commitment. Ace just wants his onstage fix in between card games and coke binges. Just for fun. But, you say, rock and roll should be fun. Of course it's more fun than a cubicle job, but as soon as you get paid for your first gig in a toilet pub, it's a job. And after 8 stellar post-Kiss albums, Ace is more at home in his mid-level job fronting shit-hot touring bands than he is as the comic relief for Kiss. He's planets above playing in toilet pubs, but that's all he wants to do. And insofar as Ace being sober, in every interview Ace slips that in unbidden. Yeah, I've been sober for the last 12 years. Yeah, right, Curly. Ace has been sober for the last 12 years. For the last 12 years! Peter was a jungle cat, a slamming drummer, and driveway gravel rock vocalist. But after the Classic Six, his own demons, drugs, alcohol, domineering girlfriends, and injured hands in a 1978 car accident, contributed to his firing back in 1980, after which he released 2 solo albums, then disappeared. Coming out of arguably the biggest band in the world, this cat couldn't continue even a basic music career? It's because Peter is not a musician. Drummers gasp. And needed others like Stan Penridge to craft his tunes. So he couldn't command any respect. Being an unmotivated scatterbrain, he couldn't command any loyalty either, as he attempted forming/joining numerous bands, producing only 4 mediocre post-Kiss albums in 40 years, with sparse gigs in toilet pubs. His retirement in 2017 was noticed only by the 12 Peter Loonies who attended his final show, then blogged about how he should still be in Kiss. You can be as loony as you want for Ace and Peter, though don't let your love for them make you disparage the blood, sweat, and careers of these guys. They're originals too, you know, and they never left. They are now the embattled elder gods of this corporate machine. So it's fully within their right to treat Ace and Peter like contractors during the 1996 reunion, another bone of contention for the Loonies. After being disconnected from the Kiss organization for 15-16 years, did Ace and Peter really think they would earn as much money as Paul and Gene, who kept the war machine on its tank treads through Flaming Youth and Odyssey? To be clear, Kiss never broke up. If they did, then it would be fair for everyone to return and share equally. Peter especially loves playing the victim.
Being treated like a second-hand citizen on that reunion was heart-rendering for me. I felt like I was a founding member of, let's say, General Motors. We started General Motors together. Now I was being treated like a worker.
So let me get this straight. You can drink and drug yourself out of General Motors, and when you're invited back after 16 years by the CEOs who kept it profitable, you demand to earn as much as the CEOs?
Are you crazy, Montana? Are you crazy?
Rock historian Eddie Trunk speaks for many loonies when he cites his major beef with Kiss, that Tommy and Eric are wearing other people's makeup. No, they're not. They're wearing authorized Kiss makeup. Remember, it's a brand. Gene and Paul are not insulting their legacy. They care about their legacy so much, they slapped it on 2 new guys that had nothing to do with it. That's not disrespecting the legacy, that's loving it long time. Paul makes a great observation to all those purists who maintain Tommy and Eric are imposters wearing the makeup. Now, Ace and Peter came to hate wearing the makeup during the reunion, basically doing it for the money, disrespecting the makeup by having their same drug and drink and mental problems from the 70s resurface during the 90s, with Ace regularly late, unpracticed, drunk or high, and Peter sabotaging shows, whilst Tommy and Eric wear the makeup proudly. In the final telling, the imposters are the unmasked. And just to be clear, both Ace and Peter sold their makeup trademarks to Kiss Catalog Limited a long time ago. Peter's too loopy to admit it, and Ace is too high to remember it. All insults aside, I understand that you loonies are really super fans and advising the band that you love on how it can be improved by plugging two members back into it. But really, think about it. Paul is already struggling with vocals, so you want to add Ace struggling with songs he didn't bother relearning, and Peter struggling to keep a straight beat for 2 hours without fainting? And you're not going to complain? You complain when 68-year-old Paul misses a couple of high notes that he used to hit 40 years ago. And you're not going to complain when Ace turns up late to a show that cost you $600? Are you going to give 75-year-old Peter a pass when a song has to be stopped halfway through because he's drumming too slowly? Ace won't be allowed to play Rip It Out or Trouble Walkin'. He'll have to stick to the songs he's bored of playing. Peter keeps complaining Kiss won't rehire him, in the next breath saying he hasn't got the stamina for a full show, let alone a tour. This is not speculation. This is what happened on the reunion tour after the two jackasses felt their jobs were stable enough to start giving less than 100%. You want to force two guys you love into a band they are incapable of being in. One of them can hardly hold drumsticks, and the other looks like a baked potato with French fries for legs. In the final telling, if you're a Kiss fan, a true Kiss fan, you'll stop the infighting over the hottest band in the world and appreciate all members for what they bring to the legacy. The originals for their dirty rock and roll, Eric Carr's double kick thunder, Vinnie Vincent's blues metal bleeding, Mark's and John's angry bees, Bruce Kulick's technical electric, Eric Singer's precision pounding, and Tommy Thayer's spectrum canonic. Here's Paul with CBS reporter Anthony Mason, who asks him whether Ace and Peter might be rehired.
For old time's sake, one more time, you wouldn't want to do that?
How many times have you been married?
Twice.
How about for old time's sake, you go back and spend the night with your ex-wife?
That's the way you look at it.
That's the way you look at it. You wouldn't make good music.
I'm not saying Ace and Peter should not be in Kiss. I'm just saying Ace and Peter should not be in Kiss now. Talk to me, music maniacs. Oh, it's hotter than hell in these comments. If you're a hooligan, hit that like button. If you're a god of thunder, hit subscribe so you don't miss my reviews of the Classic Six and the solo albums. If you're a strutter, become a Patreon for Dunmore's Movie Mania. Baby, baby, don't you hesitate, 'cause I just can't wait. If you're a torpedo girl, donate on PayPal or Venmo. And if you're a baby driver, rock and roll all night at my social media links below. Cheers!
It ain't a crime, Jimmy, get to yourself. up, lick it up.